Hey everyone, it's John. Welcome back to the channel. Good as always to have you along. This is a movie about talking sheep who work together to solve a murder mystery.
He's talking about you.
And it's gotta be one of the best movies I've seen this year, which makes a lot of sense considering that Project Hail Mary is one of my favorite movies of 2026 so far.
So, I met an alien.
But you might be wondering, what does that have to do with this? You'd be surprised.
And each day I read out loud to them mysteries, whodunits.
I know who the killer was.
I like to pretend that they follow along, but they're only sheep.
Wake up! Everybody wake up! Our shepherd was murdered. And we shall solve the crime.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the directors of Project Hail Mary, are producers on The Sheep Detectives. Originally titled, by the way, 3 Bags Full, a Sheep Detective Movie. This movie definitely feels like a Knives Out mystery, but with sheep. This is such a smart story, you guys, and it is everything that I loved about Knives Out when it first came out.
Everyone in the family has possible motives.
It felt fresh and original. That's how this feels as well. I really came into this movie on blind faith, just hoping that the reviews I had read about it being so good were justified, and I'm so happy to report that it totally is. It has a lot of charm to it. There's a level of vulnerability and innocence in the sheep that it's an interesting idea to think if somebody is murdered and the only ones around are animals. Could they figure it out? Do they know something we don't? I think it really exercises the imagination, and this just shows you that with the right actors, the right script, the right direction, and the passion for the project, anything is possible. And on top of just being a solid story, a great script, and superb acting, it has a stacked cast. Of course, we know Hugh Jackman is going to be great, as he always is, but with the addition of Emma Thompson, Nicholas Braun, Molly Gordon, Bryan Cranston, Brett Goldstein, Hong Chow, Regina Hall, Sir Patrick Stewart, and one of the best roles I've seen this year so far is that of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who plays Lily, the lead character in this film, and does it with such poise, charisma, and charm. I think Dreyfus's performance shows what good voice acting can do to help elevate a script and make you feel things that you would have never thought you would feel from watching a movie about talking sheep. She definitely has a way of drawing you in, and you are captivated by everything she is saying. This entire voice cast does justice to Craig Mazin's beautifully designed, sharp, witty script, and I was surprised to find out that this is the same guy who wrote Chernobyl and The Last of Us. Mazin read the book back in 2005 and fell in love with this story, but could not find a way to make it work. This has been like a decades plus long passion project for him, and I totally think he nailed it. It's definitely out of the wheelhouse of a lot of the other things that we've seen him write. One thing I will say is it is being strongly marketed towards kids, which makes sense because we have talking animals. A lot of critics I've seen have made the connection of it being like a Charlotte's Web or Babe type movie mixed in with a murder mystery, and I wouldn't argue with that, but I would also say this deals with a lot of heavy subject matter. It deals with death and grief and murder, of course, and I don't know if a lot of little kids would be ready for that. This is just my takeaway. I would say kids who are probably like 8 to 10 years old and up would definitely appreciate it. One thing I really loved about this film, with these type of movies, and especially with Pixar movies, they are so good at towing the line of making them enjoyable for kids and also not leaving adults behind. There's underlining subject matter that kids may or may not get that will resonate with adult audiences. This one skews a little bit even more adult, but also does not isolate the kids as well. There are some funny scenes in this movie. It's very charming. There are elements of this film that I still am thinking about today that have stayed with me. If you would have told me that a movie with talking animals would have made me think about life in a different way or perspective, it deals with love and loss and companionship and family and what it means to come together both as people in the town and as the family that is the flock of sheep. And from a production standpoint, this movie looks really great as well. And I think what helps elevate it and keeps that layer of charm is that it feels timeless. We're in a small town in England, and that has a lot to do with the visual production company Framestore, who also did Paddington, Guardians of the Galaxy, and so many other great movies. And those details are what matters the most to make you believe what you are seeing on the screen and really immersing yourself into this world. And just like they made us feel empathy for a talking bear living in London, as well as a raccoon in space trying to save the galaxy, fantasy, they have done it again here with talking sheep who work together to solve a mystery. And another trope that I see in these type of films with talking animals interacting with human beings is that the animals are smarter and wittier than the humans, and the humans are usually played for laughs. That is not the case here. In fact, the sheep are incredibly naive and have a lot of growing to do in this film. Nicholas Braun plays the chief of police in this small town, and he is in way over his head when trying to solve this mystery. And at first, that level of vulnerability that he has is played for laughs, as he is completely inept and not prepared to handle a case like this. But as the film evolves and you see the sheep figuring out from their end what is going on, and as pieces start to come together, therein lies the true character development. So as we start watching it and thinking in our head, oh, maybe it's this or maybe it's that, they are too putting the pieces together, evolving and becoming better detectives as the movie goes on. And what I love is that both the human characters and the animated characters have great arcs and character development. Almost everybody becomes a better version of what that character was in the inception of the film. And this is not a spoiler alert if you've seen the trailer, but Hugh Jackman, who is absent for a good majority of this film, still has a presence when he does show up that is so strong and captivating. It makes you remember how versatile of an actor he is, and it almost feels like he sets everyone else up for success and he walks away and lets the spotlight shine on this supporting cast. But the best thing I can say about The Sheep Detectives is I had no idea where it was going. It's one of those films where I think it leans into the fact that you think it's a kid's movie and that it'll be easy to figure out and put the pieces together, and that is not the case. And there are these really unique turns and things you don't see, and it's not cheesy misdirection. It feels very organic in that regard. By the time you get to the end, and this could have just been me, I had no idea until the last few minutes that I put everything together and was like, wait a second. And sure enough, there it was. It's such a strong script, fun movie. It's multi-generational. People in my audience, there were a few kids, but mainly adults, and everyone walked away verbally saying they enjoyed this movie, how much of a surprise it was. And in 2026, where we get prequels and requels and reboots, this is a real shining star and a diamond in the rough of something that is original, smart, and good for kids, good for adults. I know it's probably going to get lost in the shuffle, but if you want to watch something that's going to provide a little bit of mystery, it's going to inspire you and just make you walk out of the theater feeling good, I feel like The Sheep Detectives is definitely that. And with that, did you see The Sheep Detectives? Did you like it? Or are you planning on going to see it? Let me know in the comments below. And also, we are on the road to 150 subscribers. We're at 135. So if you like this kind of content and you're really enjoying it, we do a lot of really cool stuff here, not just movie reviews and breakdowns, but we do on-site events as well as exploring different screen formats. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for coming along. And as always, I will see you guys at the movies.
Why would he stop there?
He was just about to say who the killer was.
This is torture. It was the maid, right?